My stepdaughter stole my son's money he had been saving all summer for. I went to the police, and they fucking lied. My marriage is over. 2 days ago, my son, Jay, 17, came to my job upset and crying. He told me my stepdaughter Kay, 19, came home with a ton of new things, and when he checked his room the dollar he had been saving was gone. Kay doesn't have a job, and when she does have dollar she spends it like it'll burn a hole in her pocket. My boss let me go home early and I went home to ask Kay who took her shopping. Kay told me she used her own dollar. I told her to tell me the truth and she told me to mind my own business. Jay has been working at Papa Murphy's and has been saving it. He was saving to surprise the dad of his friend who passed away, Bo, for his first birthday without him. His friends had given him dollar to load onto his card to pay at the pump. It's this weekend for 2 days and they were going to treat dad. Most kids would be saving for their first car or cool clothes, but he wanted to just be there for his friend's dad. Instead of arguing back and forth with Kay, I checked the camera we have to check on the dogs. It only caught her legs, but it was Kay going into Jay's room. The rule in my house is we don't go into each other's room. It's a mutual respect of privacy. I told Kay she was caught and that she needed to get everything to return it all. Kay started throwing every excuse. I had it saved for months. How do you know it was me? Someone must have broken in. Her mom came home and she burst into tears, saying we were ganging up on her. I showed my wife the video and what happened. Kay ended up saying, why does he get to have all the money anyway? He worked his ass off. I told my wife she needed to make Kay return everything and she said no, that it would be embarrassing to return it all and that when Kay got a job she would repay Jay. I said it'll be more embarrassing when she gets arrested for stealing $400. We argue and I tell my wife Kay broke a non-negotiable rule as well as the law by stealing. She is 19, she doesn't pay rent and needs to leave. My wife says if you kick her out I'm going to, so I asked if she was willing to replace the money stolen. We have separate bank accounts, force Kay to return, or she could give me her half of the rent early. We split all bills. No, they packed a few bags and left. I was not going to rip the bags of stuff out of her hands. I don't think getting physical would have been the smartest thing to do. Before you make me out to be the asshole, I do not have extra money for him to still go. I can only replace the small amount back to his friends and it's not enough to make the trip. He went to bed without eating and has been crushed. I posted to a sub-AITA and was flooded with people telling me I should have called the police. So this morning that is what I did. The solution was that the officer would call my wife to bring Kay to the station to talk, or she could return the items and pay back Jay. Sort of a scare tactic because I was told it is a civil matter. My wife straight up fucking lied to the officer and said she gave the money to Kay, since I don't have actual proof of Jay's money. No proof other than her walking into his room. Nothing can be done. I'm livid. I literally watched Jay get his heart broken at the police station. Through tears he said, how could they do this to me? What was this all for? I just wanted to see Bo's dad. Jay is my son from a previous relationship. I had to lecture him on not keeping large amounts of cash in his room, but he didn't think it would get stolen. My wife and Kay have support. Staying with family, this won't affect them. TLDR, my stepdaughter stole my son's money he had been saving all summer for. I went to the police and they fucking lied. I've never been so disgusted and surprised in my entire life. My marriage is over. Update 5 days later. I know a lot of people are waiting for an update after reading my first post. It was removed because too many comments about dollar. Please do not mention crowdfunding or GFM. I don't know if this update will stay up before it's taken down. I'm not deleting the posts. In case you didn't read my first post, message me if you want to read it. My 17-year-old son had been saving all summer to go visit his dad's friend on the first birthday of Jay's friend since he passed. I did not know he had so much cash in his room. I would have told him to put it in the safe, but I'm not going to victim blame. My son shouldn't have to worry about someone stealing from him. The rule in my house is no one goes into each other's room. Parents included. It's not so much of a rule but a mutual respect thing. My 19-year-old stepdaughter stole his money. Her mom refused to make her return the stuff she got, and I almost took the bags from her, but I'm glad I didn't because my wife lied to the police about the money, so she could have easily lied about me putting hands on her. The police said it was a civil matter since my wife said she gave Kay the money, which was a lie. My wife said if I was kicking Kay out, she was going to. I didn't stop them. My wife and Kay have support. Staying with family, this won't affect them. This weekend my wife showed back up with a sheriff's escort. She came armed with receipts showing that she bought the furniture in our rental and that is all she needed to take everything. I tried explaining I gave her cash for some of the items, but guess what? Just like with Jay, cash doesn't have a trail. Her family helped her move everything in under an hour. With how quick this all happened, the cynic in me thinks my wife had this planned well before what happened. My wife contacted the landlord and paid a lot of money to break the lease, almost double the dollar that Kay stole, but of course she didn't offer to repay Jay. After everyone left and my landlord called, I had a mini breakdown. Everything was moving faster than I could comprehend and honestly felt like I was watching a movie. Jay came up to me and said, "I'm so sorry you lost everything because of me. And it's not a big deal. I'll tell Mom it's okay that Kay needed it more than me." That's all I needed to snap out of it. I told him he is my everything, not her, not the house, not the furniture, not the food that was in the fridge. Yes, super cheesy, but there is nothing my wife can do, say, or give me to make me overlook or be okay with what they did to him. I asked him, "Are you going to feel comfortable around them? What about when you are gone? I don't want you to have to worry about what will she steal next. Kay is not going to get away with this." My wife made a choice when the police officer asked her about Kay. She chose to defend and protect Kay just like I am choosing to protect Jay. If Jay isn't comfortable, I'm not comfortable, and I told him that. The people in my life have been slamming me online saying things like I'm uncomfortable that he would choose his son over his wife and his son is almost an adult. It's time to grow up and be a man. It doesn't matter what age I am, I will always protect Jay. I blocked everyone after that. Yes, he is almost an adult, but that doesn't mean it's okay to steal from him. Having a crime or something bad happening to you isn't a rite of passage to be an adult. He is a responsible, hardworking, honest, kind, almost man, but he is also the 8-year-old who used to run to me every day after work with a huge smile like I hung the moon. I cannot afford the full rent, so luckily my landlord has agreed to let us leave by the 1st. The only place we have to go to is my mom's, who lives across the state. This means I have to pull Jay out of his last year of high school and transfer him. I have to sell what little we have left here, and that might include selling Jay's beater car, but the silver lining is Jay and I can transfer locations for work. Mama has always been more of a mother to Jay than my wife. Moms are healing at any age. I'm not saying I'm not devastated, that I'm not suffering emotional whiplash, and I'm not saying the things that are being said about me in real life aren't affecting me, because it is, but my son needs me. He is still grieving his friend, missing his senior year with his friends, and I'm not the kind of parent to say, because I said so or we are moving and you don't get a choice or opinion on it. That isn't me. TLDR, my son comes first and I just want to thank everyone who has sent good vibes our way. 8/18/80 He will always be my baby. Edit, please keep it civil in the comments. I don't want this to get pulled because I've had a ton of people wanting an update. The furniture she took was bought before we got married except for the couch and TV. We split all bills. We were only married for 2 years. She is an accountant that saves every single receipt even if she just buys water. Guys, good grief, this is my last edit. I'm not mad about her taking the things she took. I only added that part because my son thought I lost everything. Honestly, she did me a favor. I have to drive clear across the state to get to my mom's and wouldn't be able to afford to store anything big since apartments have long wait lists. I do not care about what she took. Update. If you had told me 20-ish days ago that I would be searching for a decent divorce lawyer who doesn't require a retainer fee, I would have laughed in your face. For Jay's sake, I'm not going to expose you on social media, but I won't hold back if I'm asked about it. Your friends and family have your back and can't believe I would go through the shame and embarrassment of a divorce. It's mind-blowing that I'm getting the blame for this. Nobody cares about Jay except me. Y'all have shown your true colors. I realized that your people are the kind who victim shame. What was she wearing? Was she flirting with him? Did she let him buy her drinks? Type of people. You are who you surround yourself with. It's not our fault your dad is broke. Jay should have hit it better. Finders keepers. I'm uncomfortable that he would choose his son over his wife. Why did he have so much cash on him anyway? What did he think was going to happen? That one stings because WTF, he thought his belongings were safe in his room. It never crossed his mind that there was a possibility of him getting robbed. Kay broke a house rule by going into Jay's room. She flipped his room upside down looking for cash, and once she found it she consciously put everything back in its place. She then took the money and went shopping. When she was caught she got an attitude and told me to mind my business when I asked her where she got the dollar because she can't have more than $5 before it burns a hole in her pocket. She played the victim and cried to you when you got home because she was scared of us for ganging up on her. She wasn't scared, she isn't sorry, she doesn't care. Kay is a fucking sociopath. Kay committed petty larceny. I'm not going to tell him that he will make new friends at his new school, that it's only for maybe a year max, or that in the grand scheme of life this really isn't that bad. I don't need to remind him that there are kids who are going through worse things, that he just needs to get over it because he is just a kid and I'm the parent, so what I say goes. He has to start his senior year at a new school. I have to pull him from the friends he has gone to school with since kindergarten. He cried with me when I told him we would have to rehome our animals temporarily because Mama can't have pets at her place, which is where we are moving to, so I'm going to sit with him in the "yeah, this fucking sucks" of it. He came into my room with a bag of Swedish fish to share to tell me it was okay to give up on staying here. He told me he was sorry that you weren't the woman I thought you were and that it must really hurt me. He also cracked a joke that at least we won't have to eat any more of your unseasoned cafeteria food. We can't stay in our home because you have better credit than me, so the landlord is requiring an additional security deposit for a new lease. I've been calling animal shelters trying to get info on temporary foster homes because my mom's place doesn't allow pets, and we can't stay here. Just know that there is going to be a time where you metaphorically, possibly quite literally, can't bail Kay out. You are doing her such a huge disservice enabling her and cleaning up her messages because she isn't going to learn any life skills. No one likes a spoiled entitled brat. Lord have mercy for her when she gets her first dose of real karma. So Reddit, this is my last update about this. I know I had a lot of people wondering what happened. Kay is still not being held accountable and my soon-to-be ex has moved in with her coworker that I believe she has been having an affair with. They are fine, they are thriving, their world isn't crushed like ours is. We have to surrender our pets and move ours away to live with Mama until I find us a new place and save up. It's not fucking fair. TLDR, I'm divorcing you. No, I'm not interested in marriage counseling. I'm not interested in working it out. I do love you but I don't like you. I have no respect for you. I don't trust you. Jay is the best thing to ever happen to me, and I will choose him over anyone or anything. Update today: I went to fill up my car with my emergency credit card. This weekend I have to drive to my mom's to drop the first load of stuff off so that I can safely live out of my car without raising suspicion. My card declined. I called customer service thinking it was denied as a security precaution because I haven't used it in months. It's truly an emergency card, but since I have $9 to my name right now, I had to use it. The rep tells me it was denied because it's maxed out and if I want to use it I would have to make a payment. My card was used at Sephora the same day that Kay stole Jay's money. She spent my $500 and Jay's $400 on fucking makeup. I asked the rep why I wasn't called because it was a suspicious charge and I was told they tried. I found out the number on my account was my wife's. There was an online account for my card that I didn't create. I have kept my wife and I's finances separate. She was not on my card. I reported the fraud with the rep but won't get the money back until after an investigation. I went to Sephora and pretended I was buying my daughter something but wasn't sure what she liked, so after a few questions they pulled up her Beauty Insider info. She is a rouge, whatever the fuck that means. I asked what the return policy was and then I left. I'm so fucking furious. After a heated phone call with my wife, I was blocked. I don't know where they live or I'd show up to get the shit back to return. My wife and Kay moved in with a coworker who I'm pretty sure was having an affair with. Once again these heifers are living their life without interruptions and it's nothing but heartbreak for Jay. I now have to go through our stuff to find some things to pawn to get gas to make it to my mom's, but Jay will have to come with me because I can't afford a second trip back. No homecoming dance with his friends because a sociopath can't keep her hands off other people's money. I put my wallet on the top of the fridge the minute I walk in the door. I still have the physical card. How long does an investigation take? Since we are married, is she allowed to use my card or let her daughter use it without my permission? When I went to the police station for Jay's money, I was told it was a civil matter. The solution was that the officer called my wife to bring Kay to the station to talk. Sort of a scare tactic, but my wife straight up lied and said she gave the money to Kay. Should I report the credit card to the police or will I just be wasting my time? We live in Nevada. Around 8 a.m. I started receiving a ton of texts from my stepdaughter. I thought it was an emergency, that someone had died, or something serious because I can't recall the last time she was awake before noon. She was telling me that she had a package that was delivered today to the house. She asked me to contact the landlord to pick it up because when she tried, the landlord wouldn't give it to her, help her get a package that she stole my credit card to buy. Today was my last day at my job before I transferred 6 hours away to crash on my mom's couch because she stole from my son and I, leading to me divorcing her mom. Text after text damn near demanding I do it right away. After work I went and got it. It had my name on it. She put it in my name to avoid it getting flagged by my credit card company. It was a partial order from when she went on a shopping spree. The items had been back ordered. It was a box of makeup from Sephora. I opened it. Again, it was in my name. It was over $200 for 4 little things. There were also a ton of little sample products. I took a picture of it and sent it to her. She started thanking me and how I saved her night out because she ran out of foundation. She was talking to me like I was her buddy, all excited. My jaw literally dropped at the audacity she had. She ruined my son's senior year and she thought I was going to help her so she could go out tonight with her friends. She didn't respond to my son when he tried begging for his money back but had the nerve to ask me to help her. I took it to Sephora to get a refund, but because the card that was used to purchase it was frozen/closed I couldn't get cash. The girl working said she could return for store credit to Kay's account. Absolutely no. I think the fuck not. So I took it to an organization that helps women get ready for job interviews so they can get back on their feet. I texted her that they said thank you and that it would really make a difference since donations were low. She lost her shit, cursing me out for giving away her stuff, how she was going to call the police if I didn't get it back within an hour, saying she was going to go get it back. What kind of punk tries to get a donation back from the needy? I ruined her night because now she doesn't have any foundation makeup. And how dare I think it's okay to do this to her? The last and only text response I gave was I would probably avoid the police right now, especially since mommy is out of town for work. Who would bail you out? I got her package that I didn't even know about, which ended up adding more fuel to my fraud case. I do have this on another sub, but since finding this one, I think it fits better. My post history will give more contact, but my wife and I are separated. We will be divorcing. Tonight my son opted out of staying with his friend to keep me company in the car. He has 2 days left of school before we move. My son started crying and handed me his phone that had my wife's Facebook on the screen. There were a lot of posts bashing me and saying how it's weird that I chose my son over her. The newest post was, I need someone to tell E that he needs to stop Jay from contacting me, please. He is boo-hooing that his pants don't fit for Hoko and that he doesn't have money to go to dinner with his friends. I do not care and I am not his mother. E is trying to get K in legal trouble $4. I'm not helping, so cry to someone else, dude. I abbreviated the names, but that is what she posted. I didn't know my son was still trying to talk to her about getting the money back. Who shames a kid for wanting his money back so he can have fun at his last homecoming? I made him block her, but the damage was done. I vent on here, but no one knows who I am on Reddit. My wife's Facebook has family, close friends, and a few parents of his friends. He said it was hurtful to him because people were agreeing with her and laughing. Why would a parent do this to a child they once loved and cared about? How do I make things easier for him? He isn't typically a crybaby. His words, I know things will work themselves out. I'm sitting with him through the this freaking sucks, but what more can I do? Less than 6 months ago a good friend took his life. His stepsister invaded his privacy and stole the money he had been saving so she could go shopping. I have to pull him out of his senior year to transfer because we have no place else to go. He is temporarily losing his pets because my mom's place doesn't allow pets. This is a lot for a kid and I'm just worried. His biological mother hasn't been in his life since he was 4. I hate how hurt he is. TL.DR. My wife is emotionally berating my son and taking her issues with me out on my son publicly. How can I help him? Update. I reported the fraud with the rep and figured as soon as they saw the charges weren't from me I'd get my money back. I told them the charges were fraudulent. Not even a week later I started receiving a ton of texts from my stepdaughter. I thought it was an emergency, that someone had died, or something serious because I can't recall the last time she was awake before noon. She was telling me that she had a package that was delivered today to the house. She asked me to contact the landlord to pick it up because when she tried, the landlord wouldn't give it to her. I was almost in awe of the audacity of her calling me to help her get a package that she stole my credit card to buy. She ignored every text and call from Jay begging for his money back yet thought it was perfectly okay. I went and got the box with the intention of returning it myself for a refund. It had my name on it. She put it in my name to avoid it getting flagged by my credit card company. I took it to Sephora to get a refund, but because the card that was used to purchase it was frozen/closed, I couldn't get cash/refunded. The girl working said she could return for store credit to Kay's account. Absolutely not. I took the box to an organization/charity that helps women get ready for job interviews so they can get back on their feet. This was a mistake. Today, October 7th, I was told my fraud investigation was denied, that the orders were in my name, sent to my address, almost a month delayed in reporting it, and because I donated the box of stuff that meant I showed ownership of stolen goods. I'm now responsible for the debt racked up on the card. I no longer have access to my emergency credit card until I make a payment. I'm beyond screwed and about to be in the negative in my bank account. When I went to the police about the dollar she stole from my son, my wife lied and said she gave that money to her. My wife also said she gave Kay permission to use my card. We didn't even have joint bank accounts, let alone joint credit cards. Does her being my wife give her the right to let her daughter use my credit? What do I do? File another claim? Do I need a lawyer to sue my stepdaughter? TLDR. Genuinely lost and confused over what to do after my fraud claim was denied. Am I responsible for this debt? Update. I had a lot of people on my previous posts wanting an update and I finally have one. A quick refresher if you can't see my post history. My stepdaughter stole hundreds of dollars from my son. My wife wouldn't make her return the things she bought and flat out lied to the police saying she gave the dollar to her. I chose my son over my wife and Kay. I immediately kicked Kay out and my wife went with her. My wife terminated our lease early, and I was living out of my car while my son stayed with a friend so he could attend homecoming week and his senior homecoming dance with his friends. The plan was to move across the state to crash on my mom's couch because she is the only family we have. Jay was crushed, but there was no other choice, or so I thought. The day I was supposed to take our first load of things to my mom's, I discovered my emergency credit card was maxed out by Kay on makeup at Sephora. This was a blessing in disguise because while I was waiting for the fraud investigation to clear, I found a place that I could afford and it is 5 minutes from the school. Jay gets to stay with his friends, at the same school, and gets to start back at Papa Murphy's where he worked all summer. I'm officially filing for divorce. I'm pressing charges on behalf of Jay and myself against Kay for the theft. I have audio recording, messages, emails, FB screenshots that my lawyer says will be a slam dunk. The only heart-wrenching thing is we can only afford one pet deposit, so 2 of our animals have to be surrendered. All 3 pets have been with a foster, but it isn't working out, so we have to let 2 go, but this will be the last super hard decision we have to make for a while. I'm looking forward to healing and moving on from the toxic person I married and her twit of a daughter, despite her pleas and attempt at publicly humiliating me on FB. I will never forgive her for this. She thinks I should be embarrassed for getting a divorce, but I would be more embarrassed staying with her after she showed me she had zero regard for my son. It's not a new chapter. On Tuesday, Jay and I start our new book of life.